Hey, Shalom. Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yaki and pushing this word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Mathia from the GMS Dallas Camp. And wanted to go into a quick lesson, Lord willing, this will be edifying to the elect of Israel. I want to entitle this lesson, Suddenly Shall the Wrath of the Lord Come Forth. All right. And we know seeing all these events that are happening, that's happening on the earth, that things are happening. The Lord is actually moving things forward to bring forth His kingdom, which is to come. But we have to go through these certain situations and certain events in order to get to the kingdom of heaven, right? We have and all these things that's happening as far as the fire in Hawaii, the war in Ukraine, Saudi Arabia. They're meeting up with some of the people of the BRICS nation. I don't know if it was like Russia and China they were meeting up with, but we know that things are happening so fast now. Even North Korea has mentioned that says they're basically getting ready to beef up because of the war tactics that are being brought forth from the Western and the Western, which is America, which is AKA Babylon the Great, and with their people, which is NATO. But we know going into the Horde ride upon the beast, all right, that's going to be to a point where they're going to hate the whore, right? And that's going into Revelation 17. Now, I wanted to get a couple of articles and then get some actual scriptures here, Lord willing. And like I said, this will be edifying. Now we have here from Vox.com. It says 9 things everyone should know about Maui's wildfire disaster. All right. And if you look at this here, this this was a extreme fire. They're trying to say that those force winds that was coming off it was a hurricane. That was Hurricane Dora that may have been causing those because tornadoes that was happening within the fire. They were having fire nados, if you want to call it that. You know what I'm saying? And these are certain things that we're looking at. And I hold up now. This because they were saying the type of fire that was happening, fire that was melting cars into the ground and different things like that. So, we don't know. We know it through the spirit, all through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. But he might put it on the mind of Esau to cause these things to happen. We don't know. We only to assume, but we have we believe and we know that he's going to be doing some things that are far out. That you be like, damn, I can't believe he did something like that. But that's coming. Now look at this fire. Now we're gonna go on down here. It says, and this is the article from Vox. Like I say, 9 things everyone should know about Maui's wildfire. All right. It says an outbreak of wildfires last week in Maui, Hawaii, a state known for its beaches and rainforest, but typically not fire, is now the nation's deadliest such event in more than 100 years. The fires, the fires burned thousands of acres and killed more than 100 people, a greater death toll than the fire in California, where summer blazes are coming. Hundreds remain missing in Maui. All right, and the number of fatalities is expected to rise. Now, when you go into that, when Esau says that he gives you a certain number because he want to keep it in your mind, he want to mess with your subconscious. You be thinking, okay, he gonna keep putting that like 99 or 100 people. But what did he say? He said it is uh, um, remain that it's probably going to be a number of fatalities. He's probably not going to give you that right number. Hey, we just don't know. It's probably thousands of people probably got there. We don't know because Esau is not going to give you the full 411 on what's going on. You know, the full information. He's going to give you bits and pieces, right? It says there is the largest natural disaster in our history. Hawaii government Josh Green saying, referring to Hawaii in a statement Sunday, it is a harrowing sight in Maui, right? And the brother Osmo Wafa out here in Dallas, he actually just did a lesson on this. And if you just look at the pictures, I just wanted to quickly touch base. It says, if you look at number one, it say this is the nation's deadliest wildfire in more than a century. Right now, look at it. Now it's 106 people. Esau just gonna throw things out there to try to play with your mind, right? Look at this, right? Said more than 2,200 structures in the town of Lahana were damaged and destroyed. Now you have 22,200 structures, and I'm sure a lot of those are like certain certain apartment buildings and things like that. You think all these people got out? Just 100 people just got burned up? Think about it. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? It is still not clear. Oh, this is three. It said it's still not clear, right? It's still not clear what ignited the fires, but we know how they became extreme, right? But we know how they came extreme now. You look at this, it says officials have not yet pinpointed the source of ignition. The majority of wildfires in Hawaii and the U.S. mainland are caused by people of human infrastructure, such as power lines versus lightning or other natural sources. But it's clear that Maui's was primed to burn, right? So it was primed to burn. Now it says heat sucks moistures out of the vegetation, essentially turning into a kindling. All right. I said early last week, as the blazes took nearly 16% of Maui's counties in a severe drought, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Climate change is likely making these droughts worse. More on that below. And like here in Texas, right? It's a drought. We ain't had rain in I don't know how long, and then I think if it did rain in certain parts, it may. I mean, I haven't seen rain in the beginning of July, right? In the beginning of July, haven't seen rain. Now, when you think about that, this is in the we're in what? It might be the beginning of June, so we're in a major drought right now. If it rains just a little bit, it ain't gonna do anything because it's so dry. So it's a drought almost everywhere you look at, right? Hey, it says keep continuing on. It says strong winds only added to the problem of Hurricane Dora, which churned hundreds of miles offshore last week. A Category 4 storm brought gusts of wind and that at times reached 80 miles an hour, per hour, fueling the flames and, and helping them race across western Maui in a dangerous pace. Like I said, I believe Oprah have actually bought some land from there as well, and none of her land was touched. Right. All right, so you see here on four it says the government faces scrutiny for failing to warn the people in responding to aftermath. You know, keep going here. It says verse five. Number five. It says despite the warning of the fire, the island main electric utility kept power lines electrified. Hey, bro, the fire are now mostly contained, but environmental hazard remains. It says the climate. Now, when you look at that. All right, because with fire, then you're gonna have people having lung problems. That's gonna occur. Cause you can't be taking in smoke now and all this mud is all around. You know, say climate change is priming Hawaii for the extreme fires. Invasive grasses may also be the fueling of fires in Hawaii. They now is this wrong? Is this the wrong? Now is the wrong time to visit Maui, but are there ways to help? Right, they're gonna be having these shit. You might just don't know. They may set up refinement camps and stuff in Hawaii. Hey, never trust thine enemy, bro. Never trust thine enemy. So is iron rust. So is his wicked ways. Roughly paraphrasing in Sirach 12. Well, I want to get one here because, hey, as mentioned, this is suddenly the wrath of the Lord shall come forth, and this is, you can say of the hands of Esau, but we know overall it's the wrath of the Lord. Oh, Slocky, that ain't what I want here. Let me move it over here. I want Sirach. This is Sirach 5, verse 7, and it reads, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And who is the Lord? Yahweh. All right, meaning he is, all right, the living power, all right, the ancient of days. right? And it says, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Because his day of vengeance, who he's going to bring forth when it's time to send forth? He's going to send Yahweh Shai. All right. But the day of vengeance is at hand for our Lord. All right. For Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why we're starting to see these times because we're in the last days of the last days. All right. So you shouldn't be tarrying and trying to wait on the Lord. When you hear this truth and hear this word, you supposed to this should uplift you to get learn more about it, to learn repenting, you know, stop eating certain food, you know what I'm saying? Stop if you mess with someone's woman, let that go. Stop doing that. It's time because like I said, now it's time to repent and start trimming and cutting your ways because the times we're in, it's not gonna get any better. They say this fire in Hawaii, you always have fires in California. It's gonna probably be, just through the spirit, it's gonna probably be me speaking as a man. There's probably be some bad times that's about to come forth in during the time of what the hurricane season, which we're about to get into. We just talk about what is a Hurricane Dora. Hey, it's probably going to be some terrible hurricanes due to the the, the hot weather, the climate that's been happening all over the world. This is the hottest. Think about it, the hottest summer ever recorded throughout the world, just as a whole, the hottest summer ever. All right, verse 8. All right, it says, verse 8, it says, it says, set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. All right, so so when you look at the things that's happening here in um, Hawaii, these people probably glorifying that because you got to think who's the majority of people in Hawaii. You got those Japhetic tribes. All right, Hawaiians, you have the Tahitians, those are Japhetic people, right? Those the original Grecians before Esau came and took and conquered them and took their land, and they became the Greeks. But that's was Japhite, the Japhetic tribes, right? So these things, hey, all these things are happening at the same time. The war in Ukraine, that's you got to think that's been going on for a while now. And it's only like I said, it's only gonna bring forth in due time what World War III. We're close to it. All right. Look at this right here. In AP News, it says here, and I think it came out August 10th, just a few days ago. What was that? Within 6 days. It was 6 days ago. All right. What do it say? It says North Korea leader Kim calls for his military to sharpen war plans as his rival prepare drills. What are they preparing these drills for? Are they just practicing? When you practice, if you playing sports, basketball, football, soccer, baseball, whatever, and you're practicing, what are you practicing for? Are you practicing just to go home and not even put anything into action? You're practicing to basically for a live event or something to transpire. You're practicing to go into what an actual basketball game. You're practicing going to an actual football game. You know what I'm saying? You practice going to different things to go into a tournament. Just like working out, you're working out to receive certain results, but when you going into something like this with these drills and things like that, you're preparing for something. That's what practice is doing. Practice is preparing. All right, making preparation. So why are they what are they preparing for? Right? What we just read up here. All right. What are they preparing for? Rivals prepare drills. Why are they preparing drills? Because they're preparing for a hot war. All right. Say Seoul, South Korea. North Korea leader Kim Jong Un ordered his military to sharpen its war plans to sign off on expanding comeback operation of frontline units, state media said Thursday as the United States and South Korea prepare for the large scale combined military exercise. All right, so United States and South Korea for a large scale. All right, it says condemning the allies is expanding drills at evasive invasion rehearsal. Kim has used them as a pretext to future accelerate his weapons demonstrations. All right, now why are they condemning the Allies, expanding drills as invasion rehearsals? Are they preparing to get invaded or to invade? Because if you looking at North Korea, why are they preparing? Well, they're not. They're basically combating against the drill that South Korea and America, is the United States are preparing for. So he said, we got to get something and do something too. All right, we got to set up and sharpen our plans up. So it seems like they getting. That's like if you have your back against the wall. Now you got to get prepared because you know what's coming. Just speak. Now let's keep going to say which have included the testing, firing of more than 100 missiles since the start of 2022, driving tensions to the Korean Peninsula to their highest point in years. And you can read through this. You know what I'm saying? I'll just read the last paragraph here. It says experts say Kim's nuclear push is aimed at forcing United States to accept the idea of the North as a nuclear power. So, all right, so he can eventually negotiate economic and security concessions from a position of strength. Come on now, this is preparing for war. This is what's coming. All right. You know what? I think I did want to get this as well, but before we get that, let's go into this here. This is I want to go into Matthew 24. All right, because we're getting into what the preparation of wars and rumors of wars. Right. All right, it's like you know what? And this is how Shai speaking to the disciples, and it's asking about basically what you know what. I'm just gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna just read on through it. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, so truly I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. All right, and that's going into what the destruction. All right, the 70 A.D. All right, and it says, and as he sat upon the Mount Olive, then the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So back then they was looking for the end of Esau's kingdom to end. Verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and that's what we've been hearing for a time now. Because the Cold War ain't doing no but ramping back up, so we really never came out of that that transition, that talk or that bickering, as you would say, war, So now it's just ramping back up more and more. Say, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. All right, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So all these things that are happening, or we see, is just the beginning. And, you keep going to go into the love and many shall wax cold, which is basically you go in that understanding that goes into being psychos. All right. Then when you go into the word cold in that verse in verse 12. So all this is just the beginning of sorrow. So like I say, this is suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come. So make no tarrying for what's to come to the house of the Lord. Because all these things that are happening is preparing for Jacob's trouble that we read about in Jeremiah 30, around the seventh verse, World War III, all right, and the day of the Lord, which is going to come, all right. And I like to always bring, what manner of man will you be when the Lord comes? What position would you be? Have you been still tarrying? Because it said, make no tarry. These things are happening, whether you like it or not. It's coming. And the Lord word should not come back void. Now I had something else here. I wanted to bring this out because this was the time of the Bible. The Lord was basically letting Ezekiel know to let the people know that, hey, the Babylonians is coming to destroy and bring you into captivity. But I want to get down here at the end here. I want to start at verse 26. It says, and the word again, the word or of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. See, and this is just like in those times when he was prophesying to Israel, which is like you say the southern kingdom. He was prophesying to them, and they would say, "Oh man, that's probably gonna happen way on down the line, years to come. This will be a long time." Look at this, verse 28. Therefore say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, says Yahweh power. So the Lord said, these our Lord Yahweh, he said his words is not going to be prolonged anymore. All right. And it's not, and this is the same thing that happens now. The Lord always sends prophets out to let you know what's coming before it happens. All right. Because it says in Ecclesiastes 1 in verse 9, what does it say? If it's, go ahead and stop, go ahead and move for me. Look at that. Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. It say, the thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So it's nothing new. All right. Jeremiah 28 and 8 said, the prophet before me prophesy about basically many wars in the kingdom, roughly paraphrasing. The prophets that were before us prophesied, as Ezekiel, we just read in Ezekiel, that was to come. And our people still think it's so far off, but we measure the time diligently in itself. And the time that we're measuring, and we see the times we're in, these things are happening as we speak. All right. We're active in the prophecy that we read about. And we're finna see the final prophecies that's gonna come about. The Karachma, all right, World War III, all these things that are about to come forth. So make no tarrying day to day, all right? For suddenly the Lord, I'm gonna bring it back up again. Bring that back up again. This is Sirach 5 and verse 7. All right. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. So turn to the Lord where he may be found. All right, keep going. And put not off from day to day. For suddenly, like a thief in the night, listen to this. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Hey, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. All right. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Second Ezra 16. All right. And I'm going to go down to verse, cause look what Ezra said, right? I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundation of the earth. And what is that going into? Thermonuclear destruction. Then the chariots of the Lord is going to come. Because what did Lord say? What will it be if it's not already burning? If it's not already kindled. All right, and instead, this fire is going to kindle and it's going to be basically assuming the foundation of the earth, especially in Babylon the Great. There will be no nothing left. Verse 16 it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty arrow, I mean, a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days? Now we got to ask ourselves who's going to deliver us in these days. Yahweh Shai. All right, when Yahweh, our Father, send that go is Yahweh Shai, because he actually has what? He have basically laid his life down, you know what I'm saying, when he was upon the earth and walked that perfect walk to have for us to have that mercy and deliverance in these days that Ezra is speaking on. Also, letting you know of reincarnation, because Ezra is, if he was in this time, he's saying, "Woe is me, who's delivering me in these times to come." That means that he was in what? In these times here as well. That's why you can use this as saying, just a side note, you can use this to say that of reincarnation, even in Revelations 1. You know, Yahweh Shai said the ones that's going to be on earth is the one that pierced them as well. The Romans that pierced them. So that can go into reincarnation. Just a side note here. All right. So he said, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. You hear it saying great? All right. This is the beginning as we read in Matthew 24 of great sorrow, great mourning. All right, the beginning of sorrow, then great mourning. You gotta think it's gonna be great mourning. Everywhere you hear, you're gonna be hearing that cry. All right. This is that second Exodus that's gonna be delivered from the elect. All right. And when you think the time of that first Exodus, what happened before that deliverance and we got up out of Egypt, we it was a great mourning. Everywhere you heard the Egyptians mourning and crying because what? That last plague was the death of the firstborn, which now is going to be a multitude of death that's going to happen all through the earth. And it says, all right, of great death. There you go. And the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? All right. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be away mindful of the scourges. So you're gonna have people that's gonna not they don't pay attention. You have people don't know too much what's going on with their economy, with the wars and rumors of wars, all the conflict that's happening. They don't have no understanding of none of these things, but it's gonna come like a thief in the night. When they're gonna come, when they won't be able to buy no food, they're gonna, and all these things that's gonna happen. And just one thing, as mentioned, with the economic system, Saudi Arabia is meeting with some of the BRICS nations for what? What are they meeting for? Because they want to set up this system and do away with the dollar. All right, and we know what's happening now. Those the CBDCs, if I'm saying it right, basically setting up for digital currency. That's gonna happen. It's a race for that. So all this is happening. The NWO is at hand. Hey, make no tarrying day to day. All right, make no tarrying, because suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. All right. So with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yah in pushing his word in truth and sincerity.